You good?
Yes. All right. We're good with the camera and sound.
Good evening, everyone. We thank all of those who are with us this afternoon, this evening, and all staff administration. Thank you for making up the audience for the current moment. Again, this is our December 3rd reorganization meeting here for the TE School District. And so I call this meeting to order. We will begin again with the salute to the flag. At this time, if there is anyone, we will take public comments. Again, our discussion, our action tonight is, again, electing our officers for the year to come, 2019. I got to keep up. Yes, 2019. So if there's anyone for public comment. If not, Board Policy 9131 governs the elections of Board of Officers. As the longest-serving board member, I have the privilege of presiding over the election of the president this evening. I will now take public comment, limited only to the election of officers. It doesn't appear that there's anyone here to do that. There will be another opportunity for public comment later in the meeting. But at this time, comment is limited just to the elections of officers, if there's any public comments as to the elections of officers. It does not appear to be. Nominations are now in order for the office of president. Are there any nominations from the board?
I would like to nominate Scott Dorsey for board president for the 2019 year.
Thank you. I accept. I believe I can accept. Are there any other nominations from the board? If not, there is a motion to close. Let there be a motion to close nominations.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor of closing nominations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. I should have said in the beginning, Ms. Heather Ward is with us by teleconferencing, and so you hear her voice here next to me. Policy 9131 calls for election by written ballot. Since there is only one nomination, a roll call vote can be taken if Policy 9131 is suspended. I need a motion and a second, then a positive vote to suspend Policy 9131 and to conduct a roll call vote in lieu of written ballots. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Oh,
Can I have a second?
second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed signify by saying nay. Mr. McDonald, at this time, can you conduct a roll call, sir?
Yes. I'm going to start with Ms. Ward on the phone. Yeah. Thank you. Ms. Murphy.
To be clear, a yes vote means you're voting for Reverend Dorsey.
Yes, this is for the president, yes. Thank you, Heather.
She has confirmed.
Yes, I heard that. Thank you. Ms. Murphy.
Yes.
Ms. Whitlow.
Yes.
Mr. Kantorsik.
Yes.
Dr. Hatinsky.
Yes.
Ms. Berger.
Yes.
Mr. Boyer.
Yes.
Mr. Dorsey.
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney.
Yes.
Unanimous 9-0 for the election of Reverend Scott Dorsey as president.
Thank you. At this time, I would turn the meeting over to the newly elected president. So I am turning the meeting over to myself, if I can do that. But I'd like to just, again, take a moment, if I could, to first, as I always do, even in public meetings, thank God for the opportunity to be president of, again, I think the best school district in the country. And it is, I take it with a sincere joy and thankfulness and humbleness to be, again, part of this district and play a vital role in as we move forward to 2019. Again, I'm thankful to all of my board members who have given me their support, to the administration, to the community, and just as important, to my family. They couldn't be here with me tonight. My dad is sick in the hospital, and I ask for your prayers, but we know that my family plays a vital role in the reason that I am here. And some years ago, the reason that I came to many of these meetings was not only because Ms. Berger prodded me to come, but because my children were active and I wanted to be a part of what was going on in the district. And so that was almost 10 years ago, and now I find myself here on the other side listening to people as they come with their issues. And so I take this opportunity as the leader of our board to say to those who may listen to this on TV or hear about it, that the board will continue to work on transparency. I think that over the year we have done a great job, and I want to thank all of my committee chairs and all of those who serve on our committees who've done an excellent job leading the way and deliberating and making sure that every issue and every issue is heard, if not once, twice, and sometimes until we have to say, can we call the vote? We're thankful for the hard work that each one of our board members have put in. And I remind everyone that this is a job that none of us get paid for. This is a volunteer job, and we don't complain about that, but that comes along with the territory. But there is a passion for what we do, and I thank each of our board members for having that passion to make sure that we do the best job for our community. And I say to everyone, again, those who, if anyone looks at this on TV or on the website, that the one thing I want you to know is that our board is always open to conversation. We're always open for deliberation. And we have a huge agenda coming up as we move into 2019. And as we proved in 2018, even with a huge agenda, financial issues dealing with what things to cut and how to do certain things, we will do it with resiliency, and we will do it with TE pride as we do everything. And as we came through last year and not only survived but did well, we will do that as we look to the many issues and agendas we have in expansion, as we deal with the issues of how we provide the best educational program and do it under a budget that keeps getting smaller in a tax base. And so we're looking forward, I shouldn't say looking forward to those challenges. Those are the challenges that are coming, whether we like it or not. And so we must, again, live up to our brand of being the best, which is just not a brand. It is who we are, and it is who we do. And we do it well. And I thank, again, all the administration. I thank the board members. And, again, I thank the community. The one thing I would ask the community, again, is to continue to engage with us, to make sure that you are in knowledge of what is happening in our community, keeping up with, again, the expansion of Conestoga, what we'll do with the start times, and the other issues that are constant in our community in providing education. And I also say to the new political leaders that we have, our new state reps and new state senator, that we will be working with. We look forward to working with each of you and making sure that, again, we provide the best educational experience and we provide everyone equity, the same opportunity for every child to be the best that they can be. And again, I thank all of you for your support in 2018, and I look forward to having your support in 2019. Thank you. At this time, next on the agenda is the election of the Vice President. Nominations are now in order for the office of Vice President. Ms. Roberta Hatinsky, Dr. Roberta Hatinsky, forgive
I
me.
nominate Michelle Berger for Vice President.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Will you accept, Ms. Berger?
I will accept it. Thank you for nominating me.
Not like you had a choice, but are there any other nominations from the board? If not, a motion to close the nomination.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor of closing the nominations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Policy 9131 again calls for the election by written ballot. Since there is only one nomination, a roll call vote can be taken if Policy 9131 is suspended. I need a motion and a second, then a positive vote to suspend 9131 to conduct a roll call vote in lieu of written ballots. Motion?
So moved.
It's been properly motioned. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Mr. McDonald, can you now conduct the roll call vote for Vice President?
Yes, I'm going to go to Ms. Ward on the phone again first.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Murphy.
Yes.
Ms. Whitlow.
Yes.
Mr. Kantorsik.
Yes.
Dr. Hatinsky.
Yes.
Ms. Berger.
Yes.
Mr. Boyer.
Yes.
President Dorsey.
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney.
Yes.
It's unanimous, 9-0. Michelle Berger is elected Vice President of the Board.
Congratulations again, Vice President Berger. At this time, do you have a few comments?
Yes, just a few. Thank you again for the honor of serving as your Vice President. It has been my privilege this past year. I've learned a lot in the role and appreciate your unanimous support. I look at this as a way to support our president and to hear all of your voices and your opinions, and I appreciate the personal phone calls that we get, sharing information and points of view so that we can best serve the district and our taxpayers with the job that we have at hand and managing our resources well. So thank you again. I'm humbled and honored to be your Vice President.
Thank you, Vice President Berger. At this time, we now begin the business portion of the December 3rd, 2018 school board meeting. This evening, there is no report from students or the professional staff, so we will begin with public comment if there be any. Citizens are invited to address the board at this time. The public comment period is reserved for residents and taxpayers. Additionally, the board will accept comments from sitting public officials for non-campaigning purposes, and by the agreement with the TEEA, the board will accept comments from the union president. The board requests that each public comment made, during this first opportunity be limited to items on the agenda. A 5-minute time period allowed for individual comments, including acknowledgement or answers from the board or staff when applicable. If it is determined, again, that there's a large number of individuals who wish to comment on a particular topic, and it doesn't appear to see that this evening, at the discretion of the presiding officer, the providing officer may reduce the 5-minute time frame to 3 minutes. So all comments will be directed to the board as a whole or to the presiding officer. No comments or questions shall be directed to individual board members. If there again is a large number of comments on a priority discussion or topic during the first comment period of comments, the comments on that topic may be suspended until the priority discussion public comment period. Additional time is provided following any priority discussion or action presentation, and again at the end of the meeting for public comment. Again, the board thanks everyone in advance for its cooperation. If there is any comments tonight, not seeing any. There again is no priority discussion this evening. Next on the agenda is our committee and ambassador reports. At this time, the ad hoc public information, Ms. Heather Ward.
Public information is an ad hoc committee, meets on an as-needed basis. We have not met since our board meeting last Tuesday, and we currently don't have any meetings scheduled. When we schedule our next meeting, we will inform everyone. Thank you, President Dorsey.
Thank you. Policy, Ms. Murphy.
Policy doesn't have a report tonight because we haven't met since our last policy committee meeting. There are no new policy committee meetings on our schedule as yet, but as soon as they are scheduled, we will make an announcement and let everybody know. Thank you, Reverend Dorsey.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Next, diversity, Ms. Whitlow.
Thank you, President Dorsey. Diversity Committee met on Wednesday, November 28th, 2018, and was facilitated by Dr. Oscar Torres. The committee first heard from TE Middle School teacher Mr. Dave Hardy and students, and they shared how they pursue cultural diplomacy through Junior Model UN. The students gave an informative presentation and talked about the objectives of the program and informed the committee about the process. In preparation for the 2019 Junior Model United Nations Conference, student participants will work in small groups assigned to represent both a country delegation and one of two committee topics. Each student will be responsible for researching and writing a short position paper from the perspective of their assigned country, as well as drafting a final resolution recommending solutions to key issues within their assigned committee. Delegates participating in the Council's 2019 program will focus on one of the two following committee topics: providing clean and affordable energy for all and ending forced labor. The students also discussed the positive effects of participating in Junior Model UN, which included honing their geographical skills, learning how to debate, and developing confidence and leadership skills. In addition to preparing for the conference, this club also sponsors World Diversity Day. The students prepare for 1.5 months for this school-wide diversity program, which includes cultural displays and interactive stations. They also informed the committee about how they host TEM Talks, which are their version of TED Talks, where students and parents are invited to deliver speeches about personal experiences and their passions. Mr. Hardy concluded by asking for community support of World Diversity Day and their TEM Talks. Next was an interactive presentation led by Conestoga High School students titled "Looking at Stereotypes and Celebrating Who We Are, Culture, Race, Gender, and Ability." There were many courageous conversations from students and other committee members sharing their own personal experiences with stereotyping, reinforcing the power of stereotyping and how it not only shapes how we view others, but also how we view ourselves. The conclusion was especially impactful when the Stoga students shared their hopes for this activity, and they talked about ways on how we can work toward ending stereotypes, which included exposure to all kinds of experiences and people, to listen to people and their stories and believe what they say because everyone experiences the world differently, to challenge assumptions and generalizations about an entire group of people, and to be able to call out stereotypes and send a message that such talk is not acceptable. This is from our students, and every time I leave a diversity committee meeting, I always feel so inspired and hopeful for our future, which is why everyone should attend our next diversity committee meeting, which is Wednesday, February 20th, 2019. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Whitlow. At this time, we will have our Finance Committee report from Mr. Contorzi.
Thank you, President Dorsey. The Finance Committee has not met since our last board meeting. I will note, however, that as advertised in today's consent agenda, we have the acceptance of the 2017-2018 audit and annual financial report, which was previously approved to be put on the consent agenda by the Finance Committee. Our next Finance Committee meeting will be held at 7 p.m. on December 10th, 2018 at the district offices on West Valley Road. During that meeting, we will be discussing the 2 B's of finance, bonds and budget. So hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kontorzik. At this time, we'll have our Education Committee report from Dr. Atensky.
The Education Committee has also not met since our previous board meeting, but we will have our next meeting on Thursday, January 10th, in the TE administrative offices, as always, and the public is welcome and encouraged to attend.
Thank you. Next, we will have our Facilities Committee report from Vice President Berger.
Thank you, President Dorsey. The Facilities Committee has not met since our last board meeting, since that was just last week. We have scheduled our next Facilities Committee meeting for Tuesday, December the 11th at 7 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Berger. Now, at this time, we will have a report from the Ad Hoc Legislative Committee. Mr. Boyer.
Thank you, Reverend Dorsey. Retweet of the report from last meeting. We have not met since the last meeting. We have not had any meetings yet this year, but we will have our first meeting as the first half of a doubleheader on Tuesday, December 11th at 6 p.m. prior to the Facilities Committee meeting. We'll meet like all committees at the TE administrative offices, and on the agenda will be reviews of previous legislative advocacy efforts, as well as reviews of our legislative priorities for this upcoming year. Thank you.
Okay. Again, thank you, Mr. Boyer. At this time, we'll have the report from the IU Technical School report from Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you, President Dorsey. There is no report since our last meeting, but I would direct the board members to their packets where there is an invitation to a meet and mingle that is going to be held by the Chester County Intermediate Unit on Wednesday, December 19th, 2018, to meet new and returning legislators. You'll have the opportunity to meet with them and to have an introduction. Also invited will be CCIU school directors. That will be between 2:30 and 4:30, and there is an RSVP requirement.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Although board action is required, it is generally unnecessary to hold discussions on these items. With the consent of all members, they are foretold grouped and therefore grouped, and approval is given in one motion. In an event a board member wants to discuss any item, the board president will move it to an appropriate place on the agenda. A board member may vote nay or abstain with respect to a consent agenda item without the need for removing the item from the consent agenda. The actions under consideration is that the Board of School Directors approve the following recommendations on the consent agenda: preliminary authorization of accounts payable and payroll, routine personnel actions, athletic positions recommendations for the 2018-2019 school year, contracted services for the 2018-2019 school year, demographic study, acceptance of gifts, successful bids, authorizations of signatures, acceptance of the 2017-2018 audit, and annual financial report, educational service agreement, and agreement with approval of private schools. At this time, we call for a motion.
So moved.
It's been properly moved. Second.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Thank you. At this time, Vice President Berger will give a gratitude of thanks to those who have provided our school district with gifts. Thank you.
Thank you. Wireless classroom weather station, trumpet, board games, and various classroom supplies were donated by the Pragata family to the New Eagle Elementary School, valued at $700. 4,125 flower bulbs donated by the Home Depot in Malvern to the New Eagle Elementary School, valued at $1,453. A thank you note will be sent to the above by the Secretary of the Board. I'm looking forward to seeing those flowers, by the way, at New Eagle.
I'm sure you are. Again, thanks to all of those who've given such gifts. At this time, if there's any other public comments tonight, we would ask that you come at this time. Seeing no burning desire for public comments, in accordance with the Act 93 of 1998 Sunshine Law, the Board of School Directors met on the following dates, times for an information session prior to tonight's meeting. December 3rd, 2018 at 6 p.m. Our solicitor, Mr. Ken Roos, will go and provide additional information for us this evening.
Yes, as President Dorsey stated, that the agenda should reflect that December 3rd, 6 p.m. meeting was an information session. There is going to be an executive session immediately following this meeting regarding threatened litigation.
Thank you. Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019, regular school board business meeting will be at 7:30 here at Conestoga High School. Monday, January 28th, 2019, it's even hard to say that, it's 2019. The regular school board business meeting will again be at 7:30 at Conestoga High School. And then on Monday, February 25th, 2019, the regular school board business meeting again will be at 7:30. At this time, is there any announcements from the board members? Mr. Boyer.
Sure. I'd just briefly say, recently we have lost one president in the United States, and the social studies teacher in me, in a certain element, hopes that many of our students will take the opportunity to learn about a pretty remarkable individual they may not know about. At the same time, recently our district lost a former principal, Mr. Stody Watts, who gave a tremendous amount to this community and has a tremendous legacy. So we would certainly want to keep his family in prayer and just honor his memory. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boyer, for those comments. And again, we ask you to continue to keep the family in your thoughts. At this time, if there's no other announcements, doesn't appear to be, we call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Very quick. We ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Again, thank you for your attention tonight. Have a good evening.